Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Chase here. Today I'm going to be doing a Mike Dean Moog tutorial. I'm going to be talking about how to make intros and outros for beats that you have, kind of like the new Travis Scott song or some of the Kanye West songs that Mike Dean has done. So I'm just going to dive into a little bit of the sound design. I don't really have a real Moog with me. I'm using Analog Labs for my Moog sounds, but I'm going to kind of show you like compositionally what I would do. Let's say if I'm working on a beat and I want to do an intro or outro for it, or like an interlude. So I'm going to play what I have, and then I'm going to get into it. So here we go. All right, cool. So when you're doing the Moog intros or outros, you kind of want to think of three main parts: your bass line, a chord pad, and then sort of a melody that goes with it. In this case, I added a little fill that went from the intro into the beat. And then, so first off, start with the chords. So this song's in, or this beat's in B minor. It's just kind of like the actual beat portion, like this red, pink, and purple section is just, that whole thing is pretty much just B minor, right? So when I was doing an intro, I kind of had to come up with my own chords and my own chord progression to kind of lead into it. So we can look at these pads. I'll just solo them. We go from, this is what I basically came up with. I came up with B minor 7 to G major 7, little passing chord, which is a D major chord with F sharp in the bass, to E minor 9, and then F sharp alt. So what I have going there is like, the way I like to think of chord progressions is, you know, we have, I mean, this is like just pretty much everyone thinks of chord progressions this way, I guess, with like Western theory, is you just start with your home chord and then you just do a bunch of predominant stuff and then you do dominant. So in this case, we have B minor 7 as our home chord, and then we're just doing a bunch of stuff before we get to our 5 chord. So B minor 7 for the first chord, and then we're going G major 7, passing chord, E minor 9. So we're essentially going 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. But we're just spicing it up a little bit. So I didn't really want to do everything plain like this. I could. I just wanted more spice. That's why I kind of added those 7ths. So this with the 7ths and 9s. Right? So yeah, so I just wanted to make it more dense. So then after that, I did the bass line. So when it comes to these bass lines, I think holding out notes is great if you're making it like kind of darker, but adding in little fills here and there just spices up the bass line and makes it like not repetitive. So this is the chords in the bass. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So a little fill, right? Right, and how did I get those notes? Whatever chord I'm on, I'm just kind of arpeggiating or playing a melody based on that chord. So for the first chord, you know, this B minor, right? So I'm playing B, D, C sharp, A, G, right? So that's just kind of a melody in B minor 9 land. And those little walk-ups, basically what I like doing is when I do my Moog bass, have it in mono mode instead of poly, which I'm pretty sure most Moog bass patches are always going to be mono. So that way when I shift up to this higher note, I'm holding down the lower note and playing the higher note at the same time, or right after. And you get that gliding sound. Right, so all those notes I played are just pretty much in B minor. And then next we have the high melody. And with the melody, like, let's say I had a vocalist on this beat. Usually what I would do is I would take their vocal melody, like the hook, for example, and replay it on the Moog, and then have that kind of like hint toward that melody, or either as an intro or outro or something. But since there's no vocalist on it, I just made up a melody, which is this. And I wanted it to just be a repeating melody, so it kind of would get in your head. And all those notes are pretty much just in B minor. Right. And then as far as patches goes, I'm just using presets in Analog Lab. And I don't have the full version, so I can't go in and change everything. But yeah, the only tip I have, I guess, for sound design when it comes to the melody is like just have a little bit of extra delay on it to give it more of a spacier feel. See, it just kind of delays out. And the last thing with this intro is I just had this little fill leading into the main beat. So this little triplet fill. Here, let me show that to you guys. All right, let me see if I can replay that. It's just like a B minor scale starting on the 7th in triplets, like starting on that 7th. And yeah, that F sharp. Right, and then the only other thing I did with that sound design wise is I just panned it, a stereo pan through right to left with your earbuds, so it just gives it more. It just makes it more kind of like ear candy instead of being something super up front in the mix. It kind of just floats in the background. Yeah, so that's pretty much it with the Moog tutorial. The only other thing I would say is if you want to throw some RC20 on there to give it like a dusty feel, you can. But I feel like with a lot of, if you're going, like if you don't have a Moog, which a lot of people don't have hardware since, just try to find good preset patches. And like if you have good preset patches, like I don't really think you need to do much processing In terms of like compression and EQ, I think like if you just get good sounds, just EQ it to fit your needs, and then maybe throw RC20 on it for color. Definitely, I do like delay, like I said on the melody, and I think I added some delay on that fill as well. So yeah, you can definitely experiment with some cool like trippy effects. I definitely want to try like Moog with flanger or filter or something like that in the future. But for now, I'm just kind of keeping it pretty clean as far as signals go. Um, and then the second tip I would say is if you do have a vocalist on the track, try to mimic their melody on the Moog, just kind of like the Scots, like da 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 da. Da, 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 right? He plays that on the Moog, and it's also kind of like the hook of the song. That way you can kind of get some like, it's just like a really cool, like you're almost hinting at it, or you know, after you play it from the melody, it's like, oh yeah, that's the main melody. Just to get stuff stuck in people's heads, because you always like catchy music. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, the other thing is, yeah, you can make the harmony a little bit more complex. Kind of if it's an interlude or if it's an outro. I do like making the harmony a little bit more complex, adding a couple of sevenths in there, sometimes strategically, alt chords. The big thing for me that I feel like Mike Dean does a lot is, yeah, he makes those 5 chords really juicy, like alterations, like flat 9 or sharp 9, like different stuff over those alt chords, which is kind of what they do sometimes in like minor classical music. He almost takes cues from classical music as well. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that. Comment down below what you'd like to other videos you'd like to see, because I always read the comments. So just let me know what kind of tutorials you want to see. Yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, you can just hit the like button or subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it. So thank you so much, guys. Peace.